Hi there. Have you ever lived in a really small and horrible flat that was so damp, disgusting, and loud you had to write a poem about it and enter it into a poetry competition? Me too. Part of the competition included getting some feedback from the judges. This is an exciting demonstration about the imagination of people who call themselves art critics. The poem is essentially about me just living in a really shit, damp little flat.
Hashtag cupboard life.
Cupboard. Your parasitic sounds have taken up residence under my epidermis. The unpredictable oscillation of your outer door is so close to my cerebrum, creating fervour in my eardrums. Your adjoining motor tinkerers, clangers, air brakes engender perspiration, tension, tempestuous shakes. Your fetid perfume molests my nostrils upon entering your confines. Can a person's living quarters be how they are defined? The sense of decay and despair that you exude is palpable. Foundations, the entirety of your structure, impassable. Fabric is your nemesis. Your mould-fueled mission venomous. What were once soft furnishings fade into bronchial skirmishes. Compact, cosy, snug. Even a letting agent would fail to describe you as such. But cupboard, a roof, somewhat monsoon-proof. I have been provided for. My own front door. Hooray, today! The cessation of existence in this bleak room. And long may last the relief that I feel at no longer being encased in your gloom. Get into the character.
This poem's conceptual execution is what really drew me in after the first read-through.
Thanks.
There is an undeniable suggestion by your final two stanzas that this is more than an absurdist attack on a simple cupboard, but rather a subtle reference to the act of coming out the closet.
That's quite exciting that you saw that.
This revelation reflects new light onto the preceding imagery and hints at further thematic depth. Your language is creative and, for the most part, evocative throughout. You demonstrate an innate skill in the use of typical poetical techniques: motor tinkerers, clangers, air brakes, engender perspiration. For example, is thick with alliteration, internal rhyme, and consonance.
Oh, too kind.
I understand the need for dense technical language within your poem. It supports the poem's absurdist angle and makes the closing revelation all the more interesting. However, there are at times where this very dense, complex language unrelents and makes for a very overwhelming reading experience.
I'd say that your language is unrelenting as well, and that it might be an overwhelming experience for some.
The rhyme in each of your couplets, for instance, is entirely lost because each line is sonically too complex to facilitate any kind of rhythm. On another note concerning your couplets, there seems to be little reason not to maintain this couplet pattern until the end of the poem. The inclusion of a singular quatrain appears to be an intentional effort in avoiding any kind of aesthetic uniformity.
What's a singular quatrain?
I really enjoyed Hashtag Cupboard Life, and in particular its excellent conceptual execution.
Thanks.
You've turned a refreshingly absurd and meticulous description of a cupboard and turned it into something very interesting.
Not as interesting as what you've made it into. I didn't win the cash prize, but I think we can agree that I won, because that feedback's just gold. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, there's a button somewhere around here, and there's a button somewhere down there. Click it.